Hey bitches! This is Tom coming to you from Shanghai, and I'm back for another Eurovision reaction video. So this is my new series where I use the 2019 final performances to discuss each country and give a preview of 2020 and what's coming up. We're continuing on, we're coming to number 40, and this country is Israel. I'm nervous about this video. My first Israel video, which is linked above, my reaction, whoa, disappointment is an understatement. I got such a backlash in the comments about my review. It was a bit over the top, I think. Some people were really couldn't handle that. This song just didn't resonate with me at all. It's been a while. I'm gonna see what the final performance was like. It's a good time for me to discuss what I thought of them as hosts and my experience while I was there. Want to know my secret bang? Okay, Israel. Let's see if I have a more positive reaction this time. Dramatic starting. I remember I actually quite liked the first couple of seconds when I heard it the first time, and then it went. I know a lot of people really enjoy his voice. For me, it's a bit over the top. Like, he's obviously got to deny he's like obviously got a very good voice, but for me it's quite Broadway, that like overacting type of performance. I forgot, yeah, they did a revamp because there's some elements in here that sound new. This is one of the more successful revamps, I think. Like, I still really don't like the song, but the strummy background does add a little bit to it. See, that kind of a bit overacting just doesn't really resonate with me. Like, I don't think this staging helps with it, makes it more Broadway. It's a very Broadway staging, you know, the costumes. Crowd went crazy when this was on. Obviously, you know, he was the home. I think it's more than just being the home favourite. I think he's quite loved there. I always think it's very risky to have video clips of yourself. It can come across a bit self-absorbed. It's a fine line between self-absorbed and like feeling natural. That the hand thing, it's a bit Montenegro. He looks like he's really enjoying the performance, and you know, this is a special moment for him. I think he gets teary towards the end, from what I remember. And again, I'm not a fan of showing the audience. I think it's really. No, I'll just finish the last note. That's too much for me. That's too much. Like, obviously, it's very. Like, he's got a great voice, but he's crying as well. He's obviously a sweet guy, but. Yeah, anyway, so I was talking about the showing the audience. For me, especially with a song like this, where the kind of the aim is to try to transport you, and then to show the audience, it's really goes against that. It reminds me of Belgium from 2000, when they were in Ukraine, 2017, when you had what was her name? You had the girl, I can't remember her name, Senik. You had the girl Senik, and she was walking and she was doing all this cool stuff at the start, and then it was just like loads of people with like a kind of Eurovision hammer. It just really took you out of the mood. Anyway, so what do I think about Israel? Look, the song is just not for me whatsoever. The way I perceive this whole thing is that when you're the host, and it's such a nightmare to organize everything, and then someone comes along and goes, oh, by the way, we need to choose a song for next year as well. You're like, F this. The song kind of represents all the frustration that you're feeling. And I really feel like with this, it was kind of like, fudge, just give him anything. If you look at Israel's track record, it's really excellent. And I made that clear in my first review video that I really, really like their songs. And that's why I gave this my biggest disappointment award, because for me, Israel usually brings a really great song, and it's usually quite a fun, upbeat song as well. And I think most people when they're hosting are like, fudge, we don't want to win again. I feel like they should have had a throwaway fun song, like just get a real cheesy bop banger, kind of like the UK with Storm last year. Like that has no chance of winning whatsoever, but like it gets everyone up and dancing. For me, it was such a strange song choice. It was like this kind of low energy Broadway ballad. Not that there should be a host type of song, but I think when you're a host, it should be like, let's start the party, not like Tranquilizer Broadway. I know the lyrics are very, very poignant to people, but this is something I'm going to talk about with Georgia, where you have to make the lyrics accessible. This isn't a national contest, it's an international contest. You get votes from other countries. And when you have these like quite esoteric lyrics, you feel a little bit excluded from it. They are vague enough that it could be perceived anyway, but for me this does have a very nationalistic tone. And I think that's why the comments I got were so angry about this, because they felt like it was a personal attack, which it wasn't. I really do judge each song based on what I think, and I just really do not like the song at all. But you can see I put it 40th. I feel like my initial criticisms were justified by the fact that this got 0 from the jury. You know, there was the initial mix-up where Belarus given 12, but actually it was because Belarus had given the lowest score. I remember being in the arena and they announced the 12 for that, and I was like, what the fuck is this? Like, this is crazy. And everyone went absolutely insane because they had 0 points up until then. And I just think that's so bizarre. But then when they corrected it and said no, they actually got 0 points, I was like, okay, I feel a little bit validated in my initial reaction. They got 35 points in the televote from 6 different countries. The 12 from France, I found that totally bizarre. You know, the 7 from Moldova, the 5 from Cyprus, 3 from Romania, yeah, they seem fine. The 12 from France, I don't get whatsoever. But yeah, nice that he got that. I'm going to quickly talk about what it was like to be there, and then I'm going to talk about 2020, what I'm hoping from Israel. So in terms of a host, I thought Israeli people were really, really lovely. Like, everyone was extremely friendly when I was there. There were lots of volunteers who were helping out. It was quite intense being in Tel Aviv. There were a lot of people with machine guns. They have to do military service in Israel. I can't remember how many years it's for. I think it's through 2 or 3 years. You can see that they made quite a point of bringing in all the military recruits, and they all had machine guns. There were kids in military outfits with machine guns everywhere. I think it was quite demonstrative in that they were trying to show, look, everything is secure. It was just a little bit unusual, to be honest, to see so many kind of 19-year-olds with machine guns. I feel worried if a 19-year-old is driving a car, let alone having like an Uzi beside me on the train. In terms of things to do, Tel Aviv just wasn't big enough a city. It's around 400,000 people, I believe. The beach was cool, but as someone who went on my own, going to the beach to hang out with people just wasn't possible for me, and there weren't that many like must-see sites. I did go to Jerusalem. Jerusalem was really spectacular as a place to visit. I totally recommend it. I can understand why they want to host in Jerusalem. I love that Israelis are so passionate about the contest, but I do think that hosting just is difficult because Jerusalem is so conservative and Tel Aviv is just not really big enough, and then it just leaves you in a quandary, like, where do you go? In terms of the actual production of the show, I thought they did a good job. I haven't actually seen the show from start to finish. The arena was way too small. Like, it was very, very small. It looked a fraction of the size of the other 3 that I've been to. The crowd were very good for any upbeat songs. Anything slow, they were like 100% not interested. For Slovenia, they talked through the whole thing. I kind of get, but also feel like the people who are going to the Eurovision final should be kind of like a little bit more into it. Okay, looking to 2020, I have no doubt in my mind whatsoever that Israel will get back to what they've been doing, which is always sending super quality songs. The Rising Star's already started. I think that they'll have more time and energy to focus on selecting a really good song, and I'm expecting them to get back to what they've been doing before. So for me, this is just one blip in a very consistent streak of sending good songs. So I'm not too worried about it, and for me, it's understandable. Okay, so let me know what you thought about Israel's songs in the comments down below. Are you in France? Can you explain what happened with the 12 points? And I'm gonna keep going because I have 41 countries to do and I've done 2. I need to hurry up a little bit. So thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you on another Eurovision reaction video very soon. Goodbye.